I know, I know. Everybody's reported that Kathleen Kennedy has left, been fired, and everything. She's been fired from Lucasfilm 87 times already. But now it appears that she might be leaving very soon. Risman, this article, it's not really an article, it's a newsletter that you got to subscribe to from Jeff Snyder, Hollywood Insider, called the Inschneider, right?
That's correct.
So he reports here, and he's been right about many things. He's a trusted source, as far as leakers go in Hollywood, in the industry, that is. So Kennedy may be poised to step down as the head of Lucasfilm this August. He boldface August. But she won't be going too far, he says. Far away, as she's expected to produce multiple Star Wars projects, including Kinberg's trilogy, much like how former Sony boss Amy Pascal is now producer on Studio's Spider-Man movies for Sony. So he is reporting, Risman, that the departure for Kathleen Kennedy in her role as president at Lucasfilm, that is probably going to happen in August. We know that she previously made comments about it. There was an interview just several weeks back where she said herself, her stepping down is imminent, but she's not going to be leaving the industry ever completely because she's going to continue to produce things. That's a lot different than being the head of a studio. But anyways, what are your thoughts here? Do you think it's actually going to go down in August? Are we going to have a new president at Lucasfilm? And could that be an agent of change?
So I have to assume if August is out there, I have to assume there's some connection to August and her contract, right? Otherwise, August just seems somewhat random. I know there was some hope, I think it was a bit of a vain hope, if you will, that she would appear at Star Wars Celebration and announce, the changes and what was happening and so on and so forth. I never thought that was going to happen personally. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that if she steps down as Lucasfilm president, okay, let's say it happens in August, that this other reporting that she partially put out there through that Deadline piece, right, about her staying around to do executive producing on future Star Wars films, it makes sense to me. I mean, if you think about what I think she's always liked doing the most, and again, she even said it in that Deadline article, it's not as an executive over a studio, right? Not that we would say maybe she's done the greatest job in that role. Anyhow, she's always been pretty much attached as a producer.
Yes.
Right? And so
that's where she's been successful.
Well, yes. I mean, she's been very successful at attaching herself to directors that ended up putting out smash hit after smash hit after smash hit. But that's part of what a producer does, right? They get on with directors that
now,
they
hang
gel
on.
with.
They just said at Star Wars Celebration that she was a creator of those things.
Well, I know what they said. I know. I mean,
she created E.T. Really?
Kristen Baver was there talking to her boss's boss, right? Or I don't know how many levels there are at Lucasfilm. You know what I mean? So I found that whole interview to be a little more than a little artificial, to tell you the truth. But so this doesn't surprise me a bit. My personal opinion is that I don't think they really need a president of Lucasfilm. Right? They have enough other executives at Lucasfilm who are responsible for different parts and pieces of the operation, where I think they could very successfully, collapse this somehow else under Alan Bergman, or do something, do something else. Why? Arguably, what has she done as the president? I mean, we don't need to go through it all, but you know what I mean? I don't, thinking of putting my corporation's hat on, I could see them just not doing it. I mean, this article from the Snyder came as a little tagline, right, about now the lost, who is it? The Cusses, right? Carlton Cuse and his son Nick apparently writing some super secret, or starting to write some super secret Star Wars television series for Disney Plus, which obviously she would have had a hand in. She loves those folks, right? She loves Abrams, she loved Lost, she loves Mystery Box. So none of that's a surprise to me. I don't think much will change personally if Kathleen Kennedy steps down as president of Lucasfilm.
Probably not, but like the buck will no longer stop at her desk. So that'll be, kind of nice. I don't care if she executive produces anything in Star Wars. It doesn't matter to me at all. Sure, Kathy, be an executive producer. That's fine. If you're not the president, you can't get your way. Surely there's conflict between executive producers and directors. We know that. But ultimately, it's going to be the president's decision if it goes that far, in terms of the creative process and making a movie or a show or whatever, or a direction of a company. It's not going to be an executive producer. Is the next person that's going to step in probably in August, if Jeff Snyder is correct, is that if someone steps in, like your point, it may be just consumed by Disney and it just falls underneath, someone else's, responsibilities, not just the sole, I'm the president of Lucasfilm. But if you're wrong, if your hunch is wrong, it could be Dave Filoni. I think a lot of fans would be very hesitant about that. Would anything change at all if Dave Filoni was the president taking over for Kathleen Kennedy? Probably not. It would probably be the exact same thing moving forward if that's in fact what Disney wants to do, which I think would be a very poor decision. But hey, they've had many poor decisions over the years.
Well, and I was just going to say, I think the biggest reason why I believe personally it wouldn't be Filoni is only because I don't think he has any experience on the financial side of it. Heck, he barely has any experience in the live action, anything of it. But there's nothing that makes me believe he's been brought up in any ways on the financial side of running a studio. So I would, if I was going to pick someone else who was already there, I would probably pick Lin-Wen Brenwin, who I think now operates as, probably have the last name wrong, but she operates as the leader of ILM at the moment. But she is touted as sort of the business administrator executive for Lucasfilm more broadly. I'm pretty sure if they were going to put someone out there who has a little more well-rounded experience, then from within, then I would probably pick her over Filoni, to tell you the truth.
And what would you say to the fans who are like, maybe George is coming back?
I think there's a near zero. There's a near 0% chance.
Zero. That's 0 out of 10.
Yes. That 0 out of 10 for George Lucas content in the near future. So
not happening.
No.
So that ship has sailed long ago. So we'll see what happens. Who knows? But it is interesting that, we actually have, the hunch, if he's right, what he's been told, a definitive month, which is coming very soon. And I'll tell you, Risman, Star Wars might not improve, but many fans will be very happy to see her no longer in that role.
I think there's a stigma now at this point, whether it's earned or not, whether it's true or not. She has become very stigmatized from a from a fan perspective. Again, I don't know what else to say about it other than I am agreeing with you. I think that if she takes any other role and is just placed as president, some amount of the fandom, I think, will sigh some amount of relief on that, regardless of who or how she's replaced.
For sure. All right, guys, let us know in the comments what you think about Kathy's imminent departure coming in August if Jeff Snyder is correct. As always, you are Echo Base Network. We will see you guys on the next one.
Take care.